to MTA Williams Summer Conference 2014. It's great to see you. The commitment that I know that we share because we're here at the summer conference, that we share because we're members of the MTA, that we share because we're education workers, is profound. And it's based on this idea that we can make a difference to create a world for every one of our children so that they can enter the world with hope and trust and creativity and imagination and a sense that they can be active and engage the world in important ways. We have a commitment to that. That we share. I have no doubt about that. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Janet Anderson, Vice President of the MTA.
All of us here, pre-K through 12 teachers, ESPs, higher ed, faculty and staff, with lots of help from our MTA retirees, are part of an awesome task of preparing our youth for the future. It's a great responsibility, but it's also an extraordinary privilege. And I know that these days our job seems more challenging than ever. But I have no doubt that working together as a strong union of activists and educators, we can and will have a positive impact on public policy and the futures of our schools, our colleges, our universities, and our Commonwealth. And I know this because no profession has more dedicated and committed members than ours. And the proof is right here in this room. 600 people, educators and colleagues who share a mission and a purpose, gathered together here in August, using vacation time, a lot of people paying their own way, all to further our great profession and this great association. And this commitment is one reason among many that I know we will be successful in advocating for our students and for public education, and that we will continue to be successful in the months and years to come. And I want to tell you that I'm thrilled to be among you and honored to help represent you.
It's my privilege to be here. How wonderful to be in a room full of professionals, my fellow professionals, who've given up some of their summer holiday in order to come and work even harder. I think you're brilliant. If I were to bring greetings from my government, I can tell you what they'd say. They'd say, quite frankly, it's all your fault. Whatever it is, it's your fault. You're enemies of promise, you're opposing these really necessary changes, and you are vested interests. Well, of course we're vested interests. Who doesn't think the education of our future generations is important?
And let's talk about cornerstones of democracy. So I don't know, I'm sure that many of us have heard that phrase before, that public education is a cornerstone of democracy. Who's heard that? Yeah, it's a common one. Frighteningly less common as we talk more and more and more about how the real purpose of education is to prepare workers for the global economy. Because I know that's what everybody thinks when they give birth to their child, is I'm preparing a worker for the global economy. Democracy is not easy. It takes a lot of time. You actually have to sit and listen to other people who sometimes their ideas don't make any sense to you. You have to be patient enough to work out those differences because we're not all going to agree, and we're really not supposed to. If we all had the same idea, then we'd all be really, really in trouble when that idea turned out to be wrong. So we've got to have people who disagree so that in some cases, oh yeah, that style of doing things is going to be really helpful. And in this other new situation, this way of doing things is going to be really helpful. And so that's why it's really important that the two places that you guys represent, the union movement and our education system, from way, way little all the way up through college, as well as everybody who contributes to that, because it's, as we all know, it is not just teachers who make a school. It is not just the people who, and it is often, you can see the true soul of that school and how everybody else gets treated. The nurse being the first one to go when you have budget cuts, not a good idea. What do we have if we don't have health? If the school building is barely standing up, isn't functional, what are we supposed to do about that? The idea that those people don't matter because we've decided that we're going to rank the different people in a school community as opposed to understanding that they all contribute. We got to figure out how to make sure they're all there. That's really important. And so that's why it's so, so crucial that you guys are here, that you're actually willing to take your time off, and you've earned it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. You've earned it, but the fact that you're here and that you're engaged enough and willing to do this is so important, because not only do we need to have this strong union movement in order to revitalize schools, but this is a site of democracy that is important to restoring democracy throughout the rest of our society, because everybody else has forgotten what it even feels like to have rights. Okay, that's why they're standing there foaming at the mouth over the idea that you have a pension. People have forgotten that it didn't used to be that bad. That's why they're sitting there like, well, why should you get a pension? I don't have one. You should have one too. Like, just those basic things. You guys are here to let people know that nobody wins a race to the bottom, and that it's everybody's job to actually lift that floor and make sure that everybody has access to that. So thank you so much for being here. Let's do this. Let's figure it out.